Hello everybody. So I'm going to be making videos about every hotel that I have stayed in Japan, about what I think about them, my reviews, and then if you're interested in staying in them or not, then you kind of know. 99% of them are going to be capsule hotels because that's all I can afford, but that's okay. You know, you do what you can. You can still make the trip happen, you just sometimes have to go cheaper. And I would rather go cheaper than not go at all. So let's get into it. The first hotel that I stayed at, this was in Tokyo, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, so I'm sorry, Anshin. So that was the first hotel that I stayed at, and I'm going to be going through giving my pros and my cons. For this hotel in particular, there is a lot more pros than there are cons. Starting from the beginning, this hotel is a women's only hotel. No boys allowed. When I booked this hotel, I had no idea that that was the case. I thought it was only, when I booked it, I thought it was only the floor that I was on was women only. But this is even better. A whole hotel just for women. What? All the staff is women. Only people allowed in are women. I've seen that before with other hotels where it's only men, but I didn't think that they would do it the other way and have it only women. So for the ladies, which that gave me a lot of peace of mind. This is my first solo trip, and I've heard, you know, that Japan is really safe, but still, when you're going by yourself and you don't know what to expect, it's scary. So to know like this hotel was only for women, that made me feel good. Especially since these are capsule hotels. You don't have a lot of privacy. You do, but you don't. But this was a bonus. I'm just gonna go through all of the pros, and then I'll go through all the cons. Starting off, you have to take off your shoes, and they give you slippers. They give you real slippers, good quality, that you're borrowing because you can't keep them. You have to return them when you're done. But they're nice slippers. So they give you slippers. You have a locker, a shoe locker, and they have self check-in and check-out machines. So they have like their front desk, but then they also have the machines where you just like scan your passport or you scan your like reservation code. So that was really easy. And then it's like they had the machine in a bunch of different languages, not just Japanese. They had it in English and like 5 others so that, you know, anybody can do it. It was really easy, really smooth to check in. Now I'm going into the pros. Pro number 1. They have body towels and face towels on a rack just right next to the elevator. So you don't have to ask for towels. They don't give you a limit on how many towels you can take. So you could literally, I could grab 10 towels if I wanted and take it to my room. They wouldn't care. So that was nice, not having to worry about towels. So then when you would go to the bathroom, they had toothbrushes, they had shower caps, hair ties, Q-tips. I thought that was funny is they had single individually wrapped Q-tips, razors, they had body towels, you know, the body towels that you like scrub with. So they had a lot of free stuff to use. So going along with the bathroom stuff, they also had a bunch of shampoo and conditioner that you could use. They had maybe 7 or 8 different brands, and they just had it on a shelf, and you could just go through, you know, smell the ones, pick the ones you want, and use them. You use them, and then you just put them back. Then they also had like a bunch of hair oils. They had hair water. I've never heard of that before. I didn't try it, but because they also had hairspray, but then they also had this one that said hair water. I don't know what that is, but they had that. They had steamers. So they had just in the bathroom, they had steamers and you had the water, and then you like, I think that's what they're called, the steamers. So you put your face over it and it like, you know, just being relaxed in a stress-free environment. No men allowed. You can be zen. You can be all. And they also had like 4 or 5 different lotions too that you could use. They just had like a big bottle of lotion, you know, you just lotion yourself up. So they had a laundromat in the hotel. You had to pay to use the washer and dryer. It was like $100. It was 100 yen to use the washer and dryer. I think it was maybe 100 yen, 100 up to 400 yen to use the washer and dryer. But they had soap you could use. So you didn't have to pay for soap, but you had to pay to use a washer and dryer. And they had fabric softener plus the soap. So that seems like a good deal to me. Is if you went to the laundromat, you would have had to pay for soap. So that's a pro. Another big pro for me is the beds were really comfortable. I've stayed in quite a bit different capsule hotels, and some of the beds are not comfortable at all. This bed, it was so comfortable. I didn't realize how comfortable it was until I went to my next capsule hotel and I expected the bed to be the same. It was not the same. It was terrible. And my back still hurts from the next hotel that I went to. So this first hotel, the bed's so comfortable. Next pro is, so they give you a key, a wristband, like bracelet. And with that wristband, you can open your locker, but then also it has like a QR code on it to scan to get inside the sleeping area. So if you don't have a wristband, you can't go into the room. So you feel pretty safe, you know, besides it being on women. If somebody got into the hotel, they couldn't get into the sleeping area unless they had the code to scan, unless they had the barcode to scan. And this could be a pro or con depending on who you are and how comfortable you are. But they had a public onsen, public bathing area. So they had it was like 12 to 15 different stalls, you know, to shower. And then it's like they have a huge onsen. And it was really nice. And I didn't have a problem, you know, going in there, being all naked. I was scared at first to go in there naked, but I was like, I'm in Japan. This is normal, so just go with it, right? That's kind of my attitude with everything. Being here, I'm just like, just go with it. So I wasn't afraid to go in there, but if you are afraid to go in the public onsen, they do have a single private shower. They have one single private shower, and they have like those folding doors to like separate, you know, so you have your own enclosed private area. If you're okay with public bathhouses, it was really big, really nice. The water was really nice. It felt really relaxing. Another pro, all of the staff was super friendly. The ladies that were working at the front, the ladies that were working in the lounge, I didn't have a problem with anybody. Everybody was super friendly, super helpful. Another pro is they offer complimentary rice and curry for breakfast. So breakfast is from 6 to 10 in the morning. It kind of is deceiving because it says free breakfast. So, you know, you're thinking it's like a lot of food, but it's just rice and curry. The curry is really good. I liked it, the rice, but if you're expecting like this big breakfast with a bunch of stuff, it's not. It's just the rice and the curry. But they have drink machines that are 24/7 that you can get complimentary drinks, as many as you want. They had 2 soda machines that had different sodas in them. And then they had like a coffee machine where you can make iced drinks or hot drinks. And my go-to, I would always get iced caramel macchiatos. That was like my jam. But they had, you know, black coffee, just all these drinks you could choose from. So that was a bonus, and it's like we can't really complain because it's free. But just be aware, if you're thinking about a big breakfast, it's not a big breakfast. And then they said it's a free dinner, but a complimentary dinner, but it's not really a dinner. I think it's more like snack food, but still, it's free. Can't complain about free. So they had free ramen. So they had like a big pot of boiling water, and then it's like they had ramen, and you picked up your ramen, and then you drop it in the boiling water for 30 seconds. And then they also had like ramen broth to like fix up your ramen. They had plain rice and then like a topping bar for your rice. So they had like a bunch of different things. They had like, you know, seaweed and all these different toppings that you can put in it, soy sauce. So that's why I'm like, it's not really like a meal. It's more like a snack food. There's like a 7-Eleven across the street and like a Family Mart. So if you wanted to like get some protein, you could just add a little bit of protein into your ramen and you're good. You know, spend $1 for some protein, piece of ham, whatever you want to put in your ramen, and you got free ramen. So their snack time dinner hour was from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. They also had ice cream, and this is all self-serve. So you just serve yourself and you can go back and get as much as you want. They had 3 different ice cream flavors. They had melon, sorbet, orange sorbet, and vanilla. And they had like the scoopers, the little cups, little spoons. They also had a popcorn machine, and they had 3 different types of toppings that you could put in your popcorn. And then they also had a pancake machine. So it was a pancake machine, and you like waved your hand in front of the machine, and then it would start like making the pancake and like dropping it through. And that was kind of funny because the first time, so when I landed in Tokyo and I went to the hotel, I was like getting my pancake and, you know, like enjoying the lounge because I didn't get there till like 7 o'clock at night. And I was like, oh, this will be perfect. I can have pancakes for breakfast. Nah. Pancakes are for night snacking. They're not for breakfast, which I was surprised about that. But so you can get a pancake. I saw some women, they got their pancakes and then they put like vanilla ice cream on it and then they put the syrup. I didn't do that, but I'm like, that was a good idea. And then they also had complimentary alcohol at the snack dinner time. So you could get up to 5 drinks of alcohol. But I'm like, who's gonna drink 5 drinks of alcohol? And also it's like, I don't know if they actually care because nobody's watching. But still, that's a lot of alcohol. So they had like 10 to 15 different bottles of alcohol and serve yourself. Make your own drink. Get you a drink, get you pancakes, get you ice cream, go chill in the lounge. And I took advantage of that. Of the lounge and of the free. I'm like, free is free. I'm not going to be wasteful, but I'm going to enjoy the free. And another pro is the lounge was really big. There was a lot of seating areas. There were just so many seating areas, and then they had like one side also had couches to sit on with little tables, or you could sit in regular chairs. So they had like a little bit of both, and they had outlets. There was outlets everywhere. So wherever you sat, you had an outlet. Also, one thing I forgot to mention is they also had a 24/7 miso machine. So you can have miso soup throughout the whole day. And they had like the toppings too, so you could put the tofu, the seaweed, like little onions, and then you just push the button, get you a cup of miso. That miso soup was so good. I think about it all the time. I've had other miso soups while I was here, and I'm like, doesn't compare to that one. That's another pro. Also in the lounge, they had 2 huge massage chairs. They looked kind of scary to me. I tried them anyway, but it kind of did scare me because it was like this, they're like this huge machine and you're just like sitting in there, and the remote was all in Japanese. So I don't know, I was just like pushing buttons. But moving on to the cons. I think I went through all of the pros. The cons, you have lockers, but they are very small. So if you have a lot of luggage, you can't put it in the locker. They give you a lock, and then on the side of the lockers, they have a bar, and you just like hook your big luggage and lock it to itself. But there's not a lot of room. So the lockers are really tiny. But again, if you don't have a lot of stuff, it's not a big deal. Another con is there's only 1 elevator. So this hotel has 9 floors and there's only 1 elevator. So when it's busy and there's like lots of people, you're standing and you're waiting a long time for the elevator. They do have stairs and you can use the stairs. Con, you have to go outside. So it's blazing hot outside. Do you want to take stairs from floor 9 to floor 1? I don't think so. But a lot of women, they did take the stairs because they didn't want to wait for the elevator, but I did not. I waited. I was like, I can wait. I will wait for however long I need to wait. I'm not going outside. I didn't complain about it or anything. I was just like, just waiting. That's another con, is it can get really busy, especially during the weekend. So I stayed a whole week. During the week, it was fine. But then when it got closer to the weekend, it's normal, it got really busy. So then that's like when you're waiting longer for the elevator. When you go to the onsen, there's a lot of women in there. You see lots of boobies. Not that I'm staring now, they're ladies' boobs. They're just, the boobs are there. Even when you go into the lounge, it's like harder to find somewhere to sit because it only happened to me once. I did find somewhere to sit, but it was like almost every table in that lounge was taken. Didn't expect it to be that busy, but it makes sense, you know. They have that many chairs in the lounge for a reason. It was fine. I never had an issue where I didn't have a table, but so that's the con, is it could get really busy and, you know, just lots of traffic, lots of women. So then when you're like, don't have any room and you're trying to like go through your suitcase, I had that problem. So I'm like trying to go through my suitcase. I have nowhere to put it. I have it on the floor. So like constantly people are like walking by me. And it's like they're aggravated at me for going through my suitcase, but it's like, what am I supposed to do? I literally have nowhere to go. I have nowhere to go. This is all I have. And it's not like I'm spread my stuff out through the hotel. I just have it like, I'm in the corner, shoved in the corner trying to go through my stuff. And they're like, what do you do? Next con is the curtain. I think that's what you would call it, the curtain or whatever, when in your capsule. It's really hard to open. It has a magnet on the curtain. So when you close it, you know, it goes onto the magnet. That magnet was super strong. So it was so hard to open it. And then when you're trying to open it, you know, you're trying to be quiet because the sleeping area is just for sleeping. When you try to open the lock, you're like, because it's hard to open. This is just a personal con for myself, but it could happen to you. Somebody stole my slippers. The whole hotel, you know, you wear your slippers. You can't bring your shoes with you. You put your shoes in your locker and then you wear your slippers throughout the whole hotel. It was one of the nights where it was super busy and on the floor that I was on, every capsule had somebody in it. I had my slippers. I put my slippers on my side. When I woke up the next morning, the girl that was below me, she was gone and my slippers were gone. Who steals hotel slippers? I understand if she wanted to steal her own slippers, but to steal my slippers? And that's the thing, is like, she knows that she stole the slippers. It's not like she did it on accident, because she would be wearing her slippers, because you have to wear your slippers to go downstairs, open the locker, get your shoes out of the locker. So she purposely stole my slippers, and then I had to walk barefoot all the way to the lobby to ask for new slippers. I felt so gross walking in the carpet with no shoes on. And people were judging me. I know they were. I got on the elevator. It was clear full of people. And they were like, what is this girl doing? I had no choice. I had no slippers. So I don't know how common that is, but it happened to me. And then another con, but this is just like when you stay at a capsule hotel, the walls are really thin. You know, if people are loud, you can hear them. You're not supposed to talk when you're in the sleeping area, but some people still talk. They still are talking to each other, or they're talking on the phone. I've noticed that it's mostly other foreigners that have been doing this. I haven't noticed any Japanese. So you could have to deal with that. So that was the last of my cons list, was the thin walls. You have to go into it expecting that because of what it is. You know, you're just paying for bunk bed with a shade. You have to have that mentality if you haven't been to a capsule hotel before, or if you have, just expect that. But definitely the pros outweigh the cons by a landslide. And I would definitely go back to that hotel in a heartbeat. It was really nice. There was a lot of free stuff. And then you just feel safe being a woman. I would definitely recommend checking out this hotel if you are traveling by yourself, or if you're traveling with your girlfriends. I stayed for like 2 weeks at this place. I was originally only going to stay there for 3 days, but the next hotel that I booked, it was another capsule hotel. It was a mixed capsule hotel, so I would be, you know, sharing the bed space. There would be men and women. And also, I didn't know this when I booked it, but it was in an area with a lot of love hotels, which nothing's wrong with love hotels. I'm sure you could get a good rate on them, but it wouldn't have bothered me, but because it was mixed, I didn't feel safe. So I stayed longer at this hotel, and I'm glad I did. Because I booked more, like I stayed my 3 days and then I booked on to up to 2 weeks, they gave me a discount. But what I paid for the 3 days before I added everything on, I paid 5,899 yen a day. So that is equivalent to $39.81 USD. I think that was a pretty good deal for a capsule hotel. It is not that bad at all. You can't even get a Motel 6 in America at that cost. And this was a luxury. It was luxury. It was really nice. And $40 a night is not bad at all. Some of these other capsule hotels that I'm staying at, I'm only paying about like $20. So if you compare it to that, it's double the price. But even that, $40 is not bad. Those are my notes. That's my review of this hotel. I would definitely recommend it. And I'm going to be working on a blog where I'm going to put everywhere I've stayed, food I've eaten, places to recommend. So if you're interested in my blog, I will let you guys know when that is going to be coming out. Thank you again for watching my video. I hope you found this video educational. I hope that this information was useful and you would possibly stay at this hotel if you qualify. Women only. Sorry, men. Thank you for watching. I will be posting another one about the next hotel later. Bye!